Hello and welcome to the Auntie Lisa Show. Today on the Auntie Lisa Show we've got Baryonyx, Jack, the Underground, Jason the Egg and Steve, a treasure chest and the Octopod. So let's see what happens. Right. One day, Auntie Lisa, Aleksander and Kristoffer decided to go and see all their friends under the sea in the Octopod. Or rather, visiting them at the Octopod. Obviously, that's the Octonauts. Who doesn't love an Octonaut? Well, everyone loves the Octonauts. So, they called up Captain Barnacles and he said, of course you can come and visit. That would be awesome. We can go on an underwater mission together. Maybe save some sea creatures. What? Auntie Lisa was well up for that idea. So they packed all of their scuba gear and obviously snacks, and they set out to sea in a little rowing boat because they didn't have to go very far, and the Octopod was going to pick them up. So off they went in their rowing boat. Heave hoy, heave ahoy, heave ahoy, because they were doing it in Norwegian. Heave ahoy. I'm assuming that's what they say in Norway. Did in a song anyway once. So it was a beautiful sunny day and they were rowing out into the sea. Life was marvellous, and up popped the Octopod, and out came Captain Barnacles, and he said, ahoy there, come and join us aboard the Octopod. We're going to have the best day ever. Of course. So they all jumped into the Octopod and attached their boat to an anchor just to make sure it didn't disappear off. And they went inside the Octopod and had a good look around, because the Octopod is really cool. It's got like loads of computers and these weird little Vegemals that do stuff. And of course, people like Dashi taking pictures and all of them. Anyway, they said, right, what are we going to do today? And Captain Barnacle said, well, we're going to go deep, 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 deep down to the bottom of the ocean today to see some of the weirdest creatures you've ever seen. Woo! Auntie Lisa was well excited. And they sunk deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, and it got darker and darker and darker. And she started feeling a little bit scared because it was getting pretty dark down there. And they saw some of the coolest things they've ever seen, like glow-in-the-dark fish. Because if you go really deep under the sea, you'll find fish that glow and sparkle and shine, because that's how they communicate down there. They saw jellyfish that lit up like Christmas trees, and they saw a anglerfish which has the most enormous teeth, and it has a little thing at the front that goes dee-lee-lee-lee, and it lights up. And other smaller fish swim towards it, and then they get gobbled up by the anglerfish. It was a pretty cool trip, and it was all going ever so well until spotted something on the seabed. Aleksander said, whoa, Auntie Lisa, what do you think that is? Kristoffer said, whoa, I think it's a treasure chest, Auntie Lisa. Auntie Lisa said, psh, I don't think it's a treasure chest. Down here, the very, very, very darkest depths of the ocean? Don't be silly. Really? Captain Barnacles looked out and he said, ahoy there, I think that might just be a treasure chest. Auntie Lisa was dumbfounded. What? A treasure chest? Never believe it. Okay, well, we should investigate that treasure chest. Now, Captain Barnacles loves investigating the treasure chest. So they went out in one of their little pods and went all the way down to see the treasure chest and poked it with the pod's little claw arm. And had a look inside. Oh, disappointment everywhere. They opened the treasure chest. There was no treasure inside. Boo! Everyone was gutted. No treasure to be seen anywhere. Well, they were just about to make their way back to the Octopod when all of a sudden something went past them. What's that? Past them again. Bash! Bash! Everyone went, what is that? And they peered out into the gloom and they saw great big teeth. Huge, sharp, scary teeth. Everyone went, quick! We've got to get back to the Octopod. What is that? It's ginormous. Captain Barnacle said, well, I've never seen anything the like of that before. We must get back to the Octopod immediately. So they started going back to the Octopod in their little octo thingy, you know, their mini subs. And then it went, and it stopped moving. And everyone looked around and went, what if that thing comes back and we can't move? Oh no. There were two of them. And they were circling the little sub that they were all trapped inside. Aunty Lisa started to panic. We're going to get eaten, we're going to get eaten, we're going to get eaten. Kristoffer said, don't panic, Aunty Lisa. Let me see what that is again. Can we film it? Captain Barnacles goes, yes, we can film it. So they set up a video camera. And they caught a picture of the creature on video and slowed it down. Aleksander and Kristoffer's mouths open like this. That was no ordinary sea creature. That was a baryonyx. Aunty Lisa said, what? Does it eat people? Aleksander and Kristoffer said, no. Baryonyxes, they eat fish. They do look pretty scary, but I don't think they're going to eat us. They should definitely not be down here, though, because they are dinosaur times animals. In fact, they're dinosaurs, and they should have died out millions of years ago, so I don't know what they're doing here. We're going to need to investigate. Aunty Lisa said, well, we'll investigate as soon as we get back to that Octopod and onto dry land. But they still had the problem that they were trapped in a little mini sub with the baryonyxes circling and the oxygen running low. Dun, dun, dun. Everyone had to breathe super slowly. Captain Barnacle said, I will call the Octopod. Don't worry, they'll come and get us. So he called up Dashy at the Octopod. He said, hello, Dashy. Our mini sub has broken down. We came to look at this treasure chest. It's got nothing in it. But we do seem to have some baryonyx here. And we could use your help to get out of here, please. Dashy said, of course. We'll come and get you. And she steered the Octopod around and sucked in the mini sub. But when they sucked in the mini sub, oh no! They nearly sucked in the baryonyx too. And the baryonyx's head had got stuck. He was really annoyed to be stuck partly in the Octopod. And it took quite a lot of persuading to get him to get back out. Safely aboard the Octopod, Aunty Lisa, Aleksander and Kristoffer and Captain Barnacles and the rest of the crew had a little think. How on earth had the baryonyx got here? Oh, strange situation this was indeed. And not when do you want to leave, because the baryonyx could completely mess up the whole ecosystem. So they needed to do an animal extraction, which means removing the animal from where it is and taking it somewhere else. And in this case, of course, it was the baryonyx, because the baryonyx should not be in the sea. Maybe they thought it should be a Jurassic World. So they called up Owen at Jurassic World to find out what had happened. They called him on FaceTime. They said, "Hey, Owen!" Owen said, "Oh, hey, you guys, haven't heard from you in a little while. How's it going?" Aleksander explained about the baryonyx sightings under the water near the treasure chest. Owen said, "What? We have been searching for those baryonyx for ages. We thought they were surely lost and dead in a ditch somewhere, or, somewhere else." Aunty said, "Well, we found them. They were swimming round a treasure chest under the ocean, right at the bottom of the ocean floor." And he said, "We had an exhibit at Jurassic World which had a treasure chest in. And we had 2 baby baryonyxes that were stolen along with the treasure chest. Somebody must have kidnapped them, baryonyx napped them, from the display and hidden them inside the treasure chest and then released them in the ocean. Right, we need to get those baryonyx back. If they eat all the fish, all the other animals in the ecosystem will die, and that will be a disaster." Everyone aboard the Octopod agreed that they needed to get those baryonyx out of there ASAP. But how? How indeed do you catch a baryonyx? No ideas? No. Well, they didn't have any ideas either. They had to have a long, hard think. Meanwhile, while they were thinking aboard the Octopod, they got a phone call from Jack. And Jack said, "Hey, you guys." He was on the phone to Aunty Lisa. FaceTime. "Hey, everybody." And they said, "Hey, Jack, how's it going?" Jack said, "Oh, I'm so bored today because there's no ghosts to hunt and everybody else has gone out Christmas shopping and I hate shopping. And so I'm really bored. Can I hang out with you guys, please?" Aleksander and Kristoffer said, "Yeah, of course you can. Except we're on the Octopod and we've just found a baryonyx and we need to extract that animal from the ocean, 2 baryonyx in fact, and take them back to Jurassic World. Do you want to help us?" Jack said, "Would I? I'd blinking love to help you with that problem. That sounds amazing. How on earth are we going to catch a baryonyx?" Aleksander and Kristoffer said, "We don't know how we're going to catch a baryonyx. It's a tricky one." Jack said, "Don't worry. I am going to get my speedboat." Aunty said, "Jack, I don't think you own a speedboat, do you?" And he said, "Okay, fine. I meant like a skidoo thing. You know that jet ski? Jet ski, that's what I've got. I've got a jet ski. I'll get a jet ski and I'll come and meet you and we can figure it out." Now, that sounded great. So they said, "Okay, Jack, you come and meet us." And they gave him the coordinates and he was on his way to meet them. Now, as luck would have it, there were some other people out at sea that day. And those other people were in a very strange shaped boat. It was mostly squares. It was lots and lots and lots of squares. And those other people were Jason the Egg and Steve. And they were just out in the real world for a change, doing some silly things like paddling around in the sea in a boat. Why not? Of course, why not? Well, the Octopod had to come up to the surface to get some more air and meet Jack. So up it went. And as it surfaced, it nearly knocked over Jason the Egg and Steve's boat. And they went, "Oh my God! Hey, what was that?" said Jason the Egg. Steve went, "I don't know." And Auntie Lisa went, "Ahoy there! How's it going? Didn't expect to see you two here." Jason the Egg said, "Oh my God, we were just on a day out. We're floating. It's great. We were going to do some fishing, actually. And we caught 6 fish." Auntie Lisa said, "You caught 6 fish already? Show me." And he showed her some really big fish. She was ever so impressed, although she doesn't really like fishing, but still impressive. They were like this big each. Steve said, "Yeah, I'm pretty good at fishing." Well, that was when an idea started to formulate in Auntie Lisa's head. She thought, baryonyxes love fish, and we have some fish. Maybe, just maybe, this could all come together perfectly. But how will we catch them? So, Aleksander and Kristoffer said, hey, Jason and Steve, would you mind lending us some fish? We're trying to catch 2 baryonyx that have escaped. And they said, "Oh man, but I really want to eat the fish." And Auntie Lee said, "It's for a good cause and you can catch some more fish probably. Would you mind please?" Well, they said, "Okay, fine." So this is what they did. They got the fish and they attached it to the anchor of the boat from Auntie Lisa, Aleksander and Kristoffer's boat. The anchor from the boat of Auntie Lisa's and Kristoffer's boat and Aleksander, that chap, you know, the boy. Anyway, they attached the fish to the end of that. And then they jerked the anchor all the way down as deep as they possibly could to just above where they'd seen the baryonyx swimming above that treasure chest. And they thought, surely this is going to lure those baryonyx in. This has got to work. Meanwhile, Jack arrived and he said, "Hey everybody, I'm here to help. What can I do to help?" Auntie said, Don't suppose you've got a really big net, have you, on that jet ski? He said, "No, I haven't got a really big net on my jet ski. But I can go round and round in circles and spook the baryonyx so that they don't go anywhere. How about that?" Auntie said, "That could be useful. Yes, okay." So, they made another call to Owen, and he arranged to be there with them in 5 minutes' time in a helicopter with a massive net. Of course, they needed to catch the baryonyxes in it. And it all had to be timed perfectly. So this is what they did. They lowered the fish down. Lower and lower and lower. Aleksander and Kristoffer holding onto the rope very carefully. Lowered it down to the bottom of the sea near the treasure chest. And they waited. They waited. And then they felt a slight tugging on the end of the rope. And quickly as they could, Aleksander and Kristoffer started pulling the rope back. And there was a rather confused baryonyx holding on to the anchor and the fish. Trying to get it off that anchor it was. And Jack started scooting round in circles to make the baryonyx confused so it wouldn't swim away. Meanwhile, Owen arrived and he dropped that net and it grabbed up the baryonyx and then he scooped it up into the sky. 1 baryonyx down. Excellent. They just had to catch baryonyx number 2. Well, Owen had to nip back to Jurassic World because you can't be catching 2 baryonyx once on the end of your helicopter because that's really complicated. So he scooted back with that first baryonyx and popped it in a ginormous baryonyx aquarium. And then he came back. Meanwhile, Aleksander and Kristoffer had loaded up anchor number 2 with the fish from Jason, the Egg and Steve. And he started lowering it down. Down and down and down to the bottom of the ocean floor. Down, 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 down. It's a very long rope. Down and down and down and down. And they waited. Then there was a tugging at the end of the rope. Yes! And they started pulling it up and 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 up. And they were just thinking, yeah, 2 baryonyx sorted. When they saw on the end of the rope was the most ginormous and angry shark. And everyone went, it's a shark! A really big, ginormous and angry shark! Ah! They all sat as still as they possibly could on the boat, just in case sharks reacted like T-Rexes and couldn't see you if you didn't move. It was an angry shark because he'd been trying to eat that fish and he couldn't get it off of that anchor. Aunty Lisa said, oh no, quick, somebody cut the fish off of the anchor so the shark can just gobble it up. Cut it off, cut it off, cut it off. Well, as it happens, Jack was handy at this moment because he'd brought with him his penknife. It was a very big one. And he scooted over, which is pretty dangerous, you shouldn't do it, on his jet ski. I went chop, 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 chop. And the shark went and swam back down to the bottom of the ocean, gobbling up that fish that he was eating. Everyone went, whoo, that was close. We did not want to catch that shark. Also, we did not like making that shark angry. Let's try again. So put another fish on the end of the anchor. Down and down and down and down and down and down. All the rest of that. Down, 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 down. And then tug, tug. Pull it up and 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 up. And there was a very angry baryonyx. A very angry baryonyx that did not get any less angry when Jack started racing round in circles to confuse it on his jet ski. And the baryonyx, in a panic, tried to board the boat. He wanted to get out of the sea. He was terrified of this situation. Aunty Lisa, Aleksander and Kristoffer and Jason, the Egg and Steve were like, ah! And obviously all the octonauts that were nearby, ah! Oh no, the baryonyx is trying to climb aboard the boat. Ah, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Well, thankfully, turns out baryonyx are really camera shy. Aunty Lisa, Aleksander and Kristoffer all whipped out their mobile phones and their iPads because it just seemed like a reflex that was the right thing to do and started. And the baryonyx went, bright light, bright light. Didn't enjoy the flash at all. Meanwhile, Owen dropped that net and it caught the baryonyx in it. And he zoomed it up into the sky. Whew! That was a close one. 2 baryonyxes caught. Thank goodness. Everyone breathed a huge sigh of relief. And they said, you know what? I think that's enough animal extractions for one day. We have saved the day. Because none of the other animals are going to get eaten by baryonyxes now. And the ecosystem can go back to how it usually is. So, they all went on a trip to see the baryonyx in their new home at Jurassic World, where they had an enormous aquarium, so big it almost felt like the bottom of the sea, and lots of fish for them to chase and hunt and catch. Not nice for the fish, but great for the baryonyx. And everyone agreed that it's much better that the baryonyx is living there than in the sea. And Owen was so thrilled to have his lovely baryonyxes back safe and sound that he gave everyone a free pass to visit whenever they liked. The octonauts were over the moon because they love a sea creature, as was Jack and Jason and Steve. And you'd think that would be the end of the story. But it isn't quite, because we haven't been on the underground yet. And so, to celebrate, they all went on a train on the underground and had a day out in London. And they saw all the sights of London, like Big Ben and the River Thames and the London Eye. And they said that it was a fantastic day out. And then they had cake and tea and everyone was happy. And that is the end of the story. Love you. Bye bye.